Okay. Hi everyone. Hello. Hello everyone. I hope you guys had a great Valentine's. Yesterday was Valentine's Day and actually हम लोग live every Wednesday जाते हैं. But since we are doing a topic on dating, the labels that are going out today in terms of situationships, friends with benefits, what kind of lifestyle or how is it all going? ये जानने के लिए टुडे वी हैव अ वेरी वेरी स्पेशल गेस्ट विद अस so that's why we had to shift the live to today, and I hope you guys have submitted all your questions. In case you have not, you can still give your questions down here and we'll take up in the live. Many of you already have given quite a lot of questions so I'm glad for that. Just let me quickly, yeah. So today the guest we are having is very special. Her name is Asta Khanna. She's India's first certified intimacy director. She has a degree in film and television production from the University of York. She has worked in the entertainment industry and has worked with amazing films that you and we have watched and loved, like Gehraiya and Andhadhun. Uh, she is the founder of Intimacy Lab, which is helping further the safety standards in intimacy and promoting inclusivity. So, without further ado, I am just going to quickly invite Astha. Just give me a moment, guys. Astha, I'm not sure if you got the request. I've requested you. Okay, guys, I think this is happening a lot every live pay. Uh, I know I'm just not being able to accept the request. I accepted also, but वो live नहीं जा रहा है. Maybe some network issue. Let me try again. Till then, guys, please stick by and give your questions regarding anything about dating, anything you want to know. Asta, I got a notification here that you're unable to join. Not sure why. I'm going to request you again. Oh, finally.
Hi,
Hi.
Mia.
Hi, I'm sorry. I don't know. So this has been the pattern since 4 weeks now. Every week we're going live, and the first 5 minutes is always like, "कोई network issue हो रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है." I'm not being able to join.
No,
So, but I'm glad this happened.
Instagram has to sort this out. Actually, it's been happening on all of the lives I've been
I
doing.
can imagine, and this is like you said, it's been happening a lot, and I'm so glad that our people are there supporting us, staying with us, and I'm so happy that you could join us today. Thank you so much, Astha.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's been always amazing working with you. The podcast also was amazing. So we got a lot of questions, Astha. And before we start, I thought we'll just start with a little introduction or a little context to ये जो dating terms चल रहे हैं ना आजकल, situationships, friends with benefits, no strings attached, and there's so many more. So I got a few here that we'll just discuss briefly.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and let's start with what is the difference between dating and a relationship?
So dating is going on dates to suss out whether or not you want to be in a relationship. Being in a
Hmm.
relationship is like adding the label of being somebody's partner.
Yeah.
When you're dating someone, you can be dating multiple people at the same time. The minute that you're in a relationship, usually it is kind of well, in a sense, or the context of heteronormativity, it's considered to be um, an exclusive commitment.
Hmm.
Um, but like when you're the idea of like why are you not dating or like why are you not going out and meeting people, that's what dating is about, like going on a good like going for a meal or for a
Hmm.
coffee,
Hmm.
finding out more about the person that you want to date, or like whether or
Getting
not you want to
to
take
know.
something,
Yeah.
yeah, take something to the next level. Dating is, I think, the in the internet generation, I think dating is the second step.
Yeah.
Um, after the first step being like texting, you're like texting someone, you're trying to find out
Yeah.
whether or not you want to meet them for the coffee. The coffee is the date.
Understood. That makes sense. And then what is a situationship?
Oh my God.
This is a term we've been hearing so much. And I was like, I have an idea about that, but of course, I would like to hear your thoughts also about it.
Yeah. So, a situationship is basically a situation, basically a scenario where there are two people that like each other, but or like are in a situation,
Hmm.
which is why the situationship,
Hmm.
where there's something going on, there's a vibe, but they haven't really got to the point where they want to talk about whether or not they want to be in a relationship. It's
Yeah.
either at that point, or it's at a point where they've been in a relationship or like been dating for a little while, but
Hmm.
they're not sure whether they want to take it to the next level, whether they want to commit, um,
They're not
or like,
sure of the label.
yeah, or if they're hitting a roadblock of some kind.
Hmm.
I've heard people use the word situationship in scenarios where they've been dating somebody for a little while, but maybe say one of the people is moving to a different city for work
XYZ
reasons,
reason.
and
Hmm.
हाँ तो जो भी reason, and then वो बीच में they're like, oh, I'm in like a situation right now, अभी पता नहीं है किधर, whether it'll be whether we'll go into a long distance
Hmm.
or whether we'll break up, or like where this is going, I have no idea. That's
Hmm.
a situationship.
Situationship. Okay. Then next one is um, no strings attached and friends with benefits. Okay, there's NSA and FWB basically. And this is like again, these two are like repetitive terms again.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what is your take about that? What
Okay.
do you feel that
So
is?
no, so friends with benefits is different from no strings attached.
Absolutely.
Friends with benefits is like there are two people that are friends
Hmm.
and they have a common friend
Hmm.
circle, or like they um, are just buddies with one another. They actually have a relationship outside of their physical relationship. Just that their
Hmm.
relationship, which is emotional or platonic, or like their love for one another is like buddies, but
Hmm.
they figured out an arrangement with one another that their physical relationship is going to be um, mutually exclusive of that other relationship. So there is like a very clear understanding of like we're just having fun on the side, but
Hmm.
we're not making this a thing.
Hmm.
And no strings attached is when you go back repeatedly to the same partner, the same physical partner, without any of the baggage of a relationship. So the
Hmm.
idea is that there's no emotional strings attached between two people,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, or three people, or how many ever people. But they are hanging out for pleasure. So they will keep going back to one another. It's not, which is again separate from a one night stand. A one night
Yeah.
stand is not no strings attached. A one
Yeah.
night stand is just a one night
One
stand.
night.
It's like a
Yeah.
one time. Yeah, it's like uh, it's the difference between having a vitamin every day, having your D vitamin every Sunday, and then one injection shot of B12 once in a while when you need it.
Oh, damn. Wow, that is an amazing way to explain it. I loved it. I'm going to use it for sure. Okay, I think we've covered most of it. Of course, there's polygamy and monogamy. Again, like what's
Mm.
the difference is I think everyone basically know it. Monogamous is when you are with one
One
person,
person.
and poly can be with multiple people again.
Hmm.
But again, there are differences like there's a primary, and you can have physical relationships with other, or
Hmm.
you can have physical relationships with multiple. There's a lot of variety when it comes to polyamory. And I'm also like getting to know more through our community, through the pages and other things that I read. But this is, again, I feel like a very, it has been there since quite a long time. It's just coming out now because people are talking more about it now. So I
Okay,
guess that is
so
it.
yeah, 100%. So, first of all, monogamy is when you
Hmm.
get married. So when
Hmm.
you've got the state and the gods, and so state and religion are
Hmm.
involved, is when the gammy aspect
Hmm.
comes into play.
Hmm.
Um, so basically, if you got the government involved, and if you got the gods involved, then it's gammy. So um, पहले जमाने में राजा की कितनी सारी बीवियां होती थी ना,
Hmm.
3-4
Hmm.
रानियां होती थी एक
Yeah.
राजा की. सो वो
Yeah.
पॉलीगैमी था.
Gami tha. Hmm.
या कुछ कल्चर्स में और कुछ रिलीजन्स में अभी भी एक इंसान को 2 या 3 बार शादी
Yes.
करना, या 4 बार 5 बार whatever अलाउड
Yes.
होता है,
Yes.
by the state and by the religion.
Hmm.
So in that case, it's polygamy.
Gami. Hmm.
And monogamy is when it's one person.
Hmm.
Um, and the sub of that is polyamory, which is a relationship style, or like an alternative relationship style, which is
Hmm.
um, polyamory is where you have multiple partners.
Yeah.
It's still not necessary for you to have one primary partner. A
Hmm.
type of polygamy is
Hmm.
being in, say, an open relationship,
Yeah. I was
um,
just going to come to that next. Yeah.
where you definitely have one primary partner, and they are the person that you do all of your um, uh, they're the person that you do all of your discussing of boundaries with, of
Hmm.
what you can and cannot do outside of that relationship.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, the idea around this is that it's so funny that we're speaking about these different labels and these different words that have come to
Hmm.
be. But the essential idea of this entire thing was that the society's conventional labels are not
Hmm.
fitting for them. So these are
Exactly.
people that don't want to fit into a label. They
Exactly.
want
At the
their,
end of the day, any relationship is what you and your partner make it out to be.
yeah,
So I feel conventional ones are not fitting, absolutely. And that's
yeah.
amazingly explained, Asta. So we did get a lot of questions, and let's start with that. Guys, if you have any more questions, please send them here. If you don't want to add it in the comment, you can DM it as well. Okay, so the first one goes like, मैं एक सिचुएशनशिप में हूँ. स्टार्ट में बहुत इजी था, लाइट एंड इजी, नो कमिटमेंट्स या फिर
Hmm,
एक्सपेक्टेशंस. बट
hmm,
अभी द गाय इज स्टार्टिंग टू बी मोर लाइक अ बॉयफ्रेंड. मैं
hmm.
उसको कैसे समझाऊं मुझे रिलेशनशिप नहीं चाहिए, ये यही ठीक है मेरे लिए.
बात करो. um, ए, and not at a time जहाँ कुछ कोई चीज ट्रिगर हो रही है या दोनों में से कोई भी
हम्म.
एक्टिवेटेड हो.
हम्म.
बट द आइडिया इज, एक दूसरे से अगर बात कर रहे हो कॉन्स्टेंटली अबाउट ये रिलेशनशिप में, तो इस सिचुएशन में आपको क्या चाहिए, और
हम्म.
नहीं, पर वो मेरे लिए नहीं वर्क करता,
हम्म.
या मैं ये मैं इधर ही ठीक हूँ,
Hmm.
ये हमारे लिए कितना अच्छा है.
Hmm.
अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स क्या होता है कि आप एक सिचुएशनशिप से जब रिलेशनशिप पे नहीं जाते हो, बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि अगर आप नेक्स्ट स्टेप हिट नहीं कर रहे हो तो क्या आप प्लेटो
Hmm.
कर रहे हो,
Stagnancy.
ये
Yeah.
स्टैग्नेंट हो रहे हो, या
Hmm.
वेयर इज दिस गोइंग. ये
Yeah.
एक लॉजिक होता है सब
Where
लोगों
is
का,
this going?
राइट? वेयर
Absolutely.
इज दिस गोइंग, what do you want from this, where is
Yeah.
it going?
Yeah.
um it's not for everyone to want something to move.
Hmm.
If something
Hmm.
is working out and it's going great in its present state, then then you should embrace that.
Hmm.
And दैट्स अ बाउंड्री जो आपको लविंगली अपने पार्टनर को बोलनी पड़ेगी कि ये बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, इसको नहीं fuck up करते. सॉरी,
Fuck up
pardon my
करते.
French,
Yeah,
but
no, no, I get it. That's
हाँ.
the language. Sometimes we just talk like, yeah.
या मतलब नहीं, इसको रहने देते हैं ना, ये तो एकदम
Yeah.
मस्त चल रहा है.
Hmm.
हाँ, तो वो बताना पड़ेगा एकदम स्ट्रेट अप.
Hmm.
और
एंड काफी
वो
बार
सॉरी, गो
काफी
अहेड.
बार होता भी क्या है ऐसा दैट it starts with that and they go like nahi chahiye, we just want to have fun, but later one of them develops feeling, which is
या
most of the times in a no strings attached friends with benefits or situationship, most of the time
या
one of the partner develops feelings and that time the other doesn't want it, and I feel it becomes very important to, like you said, in a safe space, in a non confrontational way, that हम दोनों एक ही के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, we want to figure out what we are doing. So
या
absolutely, the conversation is very important to have. And like, can you give a few starting tips or maybe some ideas about the setting or how she should start the conversation? Maybe you would like to talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like you should do it in a situation where I would do it after work, like after
Hmm.
a day is over. I would not do it at the
Hmm.
beginning of the day because I wouldn't want it to lead into पूरा दिन यही बात
Yeah.
हो रही है.
Yeah.
Is to kind of set a time and be like, okay, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's have a chat.
Hmm.
Or, I've been thinking about this.
Hmm.
I know that I've been getting the feeling that you want this thing to go somewhere else. So, like you've told me that you want this to go somewhere.
Hmm.
Um, but I definitely um, need to talk more about this because
Hmm.
at this moment I'm not feeling too sure. Um, and wo conversation can even happen over a cup of chai. Like
Yeah.
it can even happen, but it's not like a breakup conversation. उसको इतना build up करने की जरूरत नहीं है
जरूरत
कि
नहीं
ओ मुझे आपसे
है,
बात करनी
exactly.
है.
Hmm.
तो आप दूसरे बंदे को बहुत throw off, you'll throw the other person off completely if you
Yeah. ज्यादा
um
ओवरथिंक करने के लिए भी लगते हैं वो, एंड देन इट आल्सो
yeah.
बिकम्स लाइक
Yeah,
व्हाट इज इट,
no, no,
व्हाट्स
no. Then it'll turn into a
हैपनिंग.
fight.
Yeah,
You don't want it to turn into a fight or like a one person is sniping at the other person. That's not what you want, right? What you want is
absolutely.
you want to just be able to lovingly share your boundary
Hmm.
and ask the other person if that's coming up against any of their like things. Are they comfortable with it, or is it something that's bothering them?
Hmm.
So you set a time and you unpack that. That's the only
Hmm.
way to do it.
Yeah,
अगर आप हिंट्स ड्रॉप करोगे और आपको लगेगा कि वो दूसरा बंदा आपका दिमाग पढ़ सकता है, वो नहीं होने वाला लाइफ में.
नहीं होने वाला है, absolutely.
And that
And
is
this is
actually
what
the
many people
beginning.
expect. This is what actually also many people expect, that ये person को मुझे काफी टाइम से जानता है, he knows me, he knows
Yeah.
that I want this, my actions have spoken, but sometimes it's not clear, sometimes verbal communication is also,
Yeah.
needed.
No one can read your mind. And if you and actually that's the beginning of every problem.
Hmm.
Having the expectation that something that you have not said
Hmm.
out very clearly will
Yeah.
have been heard and listened to.
Yeah.
Is because how are you? There's definite room for miscommunication.
Yeah. And that is very common as well, miscommunication. And कौन से tone में बात की जा रही है या कौन से context में, like maybe there's a mismatch there as well.
Yeah. So don't do
Absolutely.
it on a text.
Absolutely. Oh, that's the worst way to communicate. लंबा चौड़ा text लिखे या फिर no, that's the worst way to communicate.
It is actually the worst thing to do to somebody is to send them a text message with
Hmm.
anything important about your relationship.
Yeah.
You should send a text message and be like, when are we meeting next? There's something I want to chit chat with you about, but not make it a big
Big
deal
deal.
even then. Not be like,
Hmm.
we need to talk.
Hmm.
That's not, yeah.
The dreaded we need to talk
Oh my
conversation.
God, I PTSD.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So,
I mean, I don't mean to offend anyone, but like in a very colloquial sense, it's like very traumatic to get that kind of message.
true, true, absolutely. So someone has messaged in the comment section. Do you think casual friends with benefit one night stands have an impact on future relationship prospects? Okay.
Casual friends with benefits or one night stands have a an impact on future relationship prospects. Hmm.
Basically, what I feel he's trying to say is someone who's been in a setting of these, if they tomorrow want to have a committed relationship, do you think their lifestyle would have an impact on this? Where you see a lot of people putting a lot of weight on,
Yeah.
virginity or not being actively dating anyone else or something like that. I guess that's the context.
No, I don't think casual relationships or one night stands have a direct impact on future relationship prospects. Um, I think the only thing that can happen is that you need to set your expectations right.
Hmm.
And you need to know what when you're getting into a long-term relationship or a committed relationship, that the partner's expectations of you will be very different from what
Hmm.
it was in those casual relationships. And so it's a little bit of self recalibration,
Hmm.
a self setup of
Hmm.
like, okay, this is a different mode.
Different. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a different mode that I have to be in, because if you keep snapping back to that um, detached attachment style, you will end up in a situation where you'll either end up with somebody who will be very anxious because they're
Hmm.
constantly feeling like you'll run
Hmm.
away. Um,
Or you
or
cheat.
yeah, or that matlab
Yeah.
that there'll be that you'll do something that is going to hurt the relationship
Hmm.
in some way. And so they'll be very anxiously like getting in your way, which will then make you feel suffocated, and it's that vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So the idea is to not commit to it being a very um, long-term thing if you're not ready for it. But when you're
Hmm.
ready for it, then you're ready for it. Then your past doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And actually have that conversation with the person that you want to get committed to, or who you want to be in a commitment with. That
Absolutely.
you have a past, I have a past. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it and let's get it over with once and for all.
Hmm.
So that you know everything it is there is that you need to know, and you don't feel like I'm keeping any secrets about my past life from you.
Hmm.
Um, and if and ask whatever questions you need to ask, and then be like, okay, but that was us in the past, and this is us today.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, we're gonna figure this out as we go, and then you can actually make it work.
Absolutely. And if the aspect, I think you've covered everything. The only thing, if you feel that your future potential partner with whom you're talking is judging you based on your history, then I feel the mindset doesn't match. So
Yeah,
that person is not the right person for you any which way. So it would be better to not have, or try to have a conversation, but not have those expectations of a relationship with that person.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the idea is that before you get into something, you anyways want to talk about what you're looking for
yeah,
with that person, right? And that's when you come to know whether or not the mindset matches, whether or not their journey has been similar to yours,
absolutely.
how much can they relate to you, how much empathy can they have for you. Um,
Absolutely. Every relationship is unique and comes with its set of challenges and I feel vulnerability and honesty is something that, work together, and it's not easy. Both are not easy, but that's all what relationships are about.
Oh
So I
yeah,
guess
for
it's
sure.
a matter of, trying and making the changes and working towards it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, I've
Karishma
been in a
says,
relationship.
I want to join.
Oh, of course, why not? One second, Karishma, I'm just going to add you. Okay, I've sent the request. I
We were
hope
missing Curry. I think manifested her. We were missing
I.
Curry.
Hi.
Hello, ladies. How's it going?
You tell us. You can see us. We're the
I
talking.
know I've been watching you all for the past 10 minutes, and I'm like, when are they going to give me my attention? When are they going to let me join you? But yeah, I mean, so many interesting things coming up, and obviously there are a lot of people who are also sending us questions. And there was one which popped out. I don't know if you'd answered that question. There was one person who just said that I want to indulge in, I think,
Yeah,
being making
I saw
making
that we
his
have an
wife.
interest.
Yeah. I don't think we understand. Okay, so there is this one person who wants to make his wife his mistress, and the other way around as well, and be dominating towards her, and also wants to be dominated.
Love
Um,
it.
and he's basically asking. He's read up on it. He's done some blog research, but he's also wanting to understand if you can guide him on how to take it forward with his partner, and that is something that he's asked. So
That sounds like so much
yeah.
fun. The guiding bit will definitely take a much longer session than a live. So I'm very happy for you to DM me and we can actually set up time and have a proper conversation about this. But to give you a very brief starting point, it is that um, to share your fantasies brings you closer in intimacy.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
if you can find, if you're feeling a fantasy and you want to share it with your partner and be like, I feel we should try, or like, oh my God, do you know how much fun it would be to try something like that? Or like, I've been wondering about it. And the
Hmm.
minute that you kind of share that, and then you can suss the vibe of how your partner is reacting uh, to that fantasy, or whether you want to make sure they're not yucking your yum.
Yes.
Um,
So
you
important.
want,
You
yeah,
want
you
to
want to.
explain that.
So, so yucking your yum is basically when somebody makes you feel shame or like uncomfortable for something that should ideally bring you pleasure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, of course, within the boundaries of the ethics involved, nobody should be yucking somebody's yum. They can definitely say that something works for them and it doesn't work, something doesn't work for them. But that's about conversation, right? Respectful conversation with your partner. Being like, hey, this is something I definitely want to try.
Yeah.
And if you're up for it, then should we try and explore how we can make this work?
Hmm.
Mm.
Um, and then kind of go into that aspect. But the thing about consensual non-consent is, in general, like the most basic fundamental thing about consensual non-consent is very, very clear boundaries and conversation around what is okay to do and what is not okay to do while you're in the role play
Correct.
step.
Correct.
And you work only within the boundaries of what has been discussed before when you're in the role play step, and also to always have a safe word so the other person knows कि
Oops.
I think we
I
lost.
think,
Uh,
yeah, I think there was some network issue and light gayi hai shayad.
possibly. Possibly.
Yeah.
Hello, Lalit. I'm not happy. I'm. This is my face. I know that a lot of people think I'm angry in my thinking face, but it's my thinking face. It's not my angry face.
And also, you have a resting bitch face, so that is there
Oh,
too.
I know. I mean, there are so many times where people think I'm upset, or if I'm probably pissed off, or I'm like, just angry for no reason. No,
Yeah.
that's my face, and people who obviously spend time with me realize that, oh, this means
She's thinking or she's somewhere else. Yeah.
I'm thinking. I'm not. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay. You probably have to join in whenever, or you probably have to send out a request.
Yeah, but no, that is also one second. Yeah, Astha, I'm trying to add you again.
She's like, hello.
Oh God.
Hi.
हाँ
मेरे बिल्डिंग में बिजली चली गई गाइस.
Lights out. I'm like, oh, shooting a fun.
Pack up, pack up.
Yeah, pack up, pack up. The words you wait for every day. Yeah.
I have to say it's so I find it so pleasurable to have these conversations, and it really inspires me more and more in the work that I'm doing outside of being on a film set and working and directing intimacy scenes. I feel like, you know, just being just the work that I've started doing now as a relationship coach has
Hmm.
been so it's like food for the soul.
Absolutely. Fulfilling. Yes.
Yeah, it's so fulfilling.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Um,
I just wanted to tell the audience that if you haven't gone and watched our first two episodes of our Sass It Up with Sassiest, which is our podcast, you should go and definitely check it out. And you have to look forward to the episode where we have Astha talking to us. And I'm positive, if not two episodes, it's going to be three episodes
I
because
do.
we've had our life, just going through that conversation for so long. But yeah, we're also looking forward to that when that comes out, and I'm like crazy excited about it.
I'm so excited about it too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for us to talk about, like, really unpack all of these different things that we talk about.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Make a web series. Someone's written, make a web series. सर आप पैसे दे दीजिए, हम
बस
बना देंगे.
बस प्रोडक्शन का वेट कर रहे हैं.
पहले
आप पैसे दे दीजिए, हम बना देंगे.
करेक्ट. कोई कोई टैलेंट में कमी नहीं है, कोई सोर्सिंग में कमी नहीं है, कंटेंट में कमी नहीं है, बिल्कुल कमी नहीं. सिर्फ पैसों की कमी है, वो चाहिए. वो दे दो हमारे हाथ में, हम तुम्हारे ऐसे नेटफ्लिक्स को चार चांद लगा देंगे.
You never know. We may manifest something like this, just like how we manifested you over here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure you say things that don't come true. So yeah, and it's been definitely at the back of my mind. I've been planning and plotting something for the past 2 years now, but I'm sure it'll come into fruition soon. Let's see.
It will.
Like even when there are when there are like scenarios happening, we are just talking or something. Someone goes like, "तुम लोग के ऊपर ना series बननी चाहिए." The kind of talks we have, the kind of arguments or things that we discuss over feminism and this and that. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, I was actually talking to someone, and I want to put you in touch with them actually. But I was talking to somebody very interesting. They're a hairstylist, and they were talking about how they love, traveling abroad because they feel so much more at peace with their own freedom of, like, ways of dressing, whether it's like leather subculture or it's being in parties that are like pleasure parties and stuff like that. And they were talking about how they don't have space in India for stuff like this, and I was like, yeah, I mean, of course there's so much shame around it and there's so much taboo around it. And they were like talking about and so I thought of this show on Netflix called The Bold Type. It's basically a comedy show about a dominatrix and her assistant and all of these other clients that they go to.
Okay.
And what are their different kinds of fantasies and like stuff like that. So for somebody who doesn't really know a lot about BDSM and kink and alternative lifestyles, pleasure lifestyles and stuff like that, it's actually a really good 101
Yeah.
in a very fun and very non-provocative space. So it's actually really cool for people to watch. I always mention that, and also the intimacy coordinator is a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So on
Oh,
the bold types, Olivia Troy, and they're also one of the co-writers of the show, and they're an expert in BDSM and kink. So I know that everything that you learn on that show is
Very
what,
like
what's the name of the show
proper.
again?
the
Sorry.
bold type.
It's called the bold type.
There
Interesting.
you have your
Like
answer to the person who's asked,
ab-
how can you start? Maybe you can start with the
there's
series.
Yeah, you can. You can definitely watch this series with your partner and be like, "ये करना है क्या?"
yeah, which gets me
Absolutely.
to the other show, which is the show. I think it's also on Netflix. It's called Build Your Sex Room or something like that, or
Hmm, hmm.
that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was absolutely mind blown with that subject because it was so eye opening, and it was, treat it we treat it so frivolously. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean? Relationships are, we treat it so frivolously. We treat sex and
Yeah.
intimacy so frivolously, not giving it its due importance in our day-to-day activities or in our
yeah,
lives. um, that brought a lot of light onto how people were paying attention to create rooms that were meant only for those moments.
Yeah.
And it was purely because they wanted to have better relationships with their partners.
Partner.
And that was absolutely thrilling to watch because that ultimate aim was just wanting a better time with their partner. And that was just like the sole, you know,
yeah.
aim. It was beautiful.
And the thought
बॉम्बे में नहीं
that
है जगह
goes
करने के
behind
लिए,
designing
नहीं
it
तो मेरे पास
also.
होता.
There is a
मैं
parent
बॉम्बे में जगह नहीं है करने के लिए, पर नहीं तो मेरे पास में होता.
100%. I agree with you. ये घर की बात नहीं है. So parent, there's an article or there's a
Yes.
parent hotel
Gurgaon.
which has been themed in Delhi, around pleasure
Yeah.
and different kinds of pleasure. And it's very like, well, it's still, or it is touching BDSM, I think, in that space as well. There is romance and there is also that
Hmm.
end of the spectrum.
So not
So
vanilla.
yes,
No.
it's not vanilla.
They
And
have like beds with cages and jacuzzi and like 50 Shades Grey. That also, and different variations of that where they have a Vegas theme based room where everything is,
Love
casinos
it.
and strip,
Love
pole and
it.
everything. It's
wow,
amazing.
and I'm like,
Love
wow,
it.
like bring it on.
It's in Gurgaon. We just saw an article from Scoop today.
Yeah,
हम्म.
So that's up.
उनको बोलना चाहिए हमको बुलाएं,
हाँ,
हम जाके वहां रह के आएंगे.
100%. मुझे तो उधर
फोटोशूट करके आएंगे. हाँ,
फोटो
मैं कुछ सीन्स डायरेक्ट करूंगी.
100%. Let's do
Someone's
that.
written there is nothing like this in Delhi. Sir, आप पढ़ लो ना, अगर हमने
Gurgaon में
पढ़ा है
है.
तो आपको भी मिल जाएगा.
Gurgaon
Google कर लो.
में.
हाँ, गूगल
Yeah.
प्लीज.
Okay.
Such denial, love it when the existence of
दिल्ली में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
दिल्ली के बारे में हम ज्यादा जानते हैं.
प्रॉब्लम क्या है तुमको? अरे तुम्हें ही जाना है वहां. क्यों ऐसे बात कर रहे हो? But
Oh
I,
God.
Yeah. अरे बताओ ना और क्वेश्चंस है. आई नो आई रेड वन और टू बट मैं पूरे पढ़ ही नहीं पाई.
Though the questions, okay, huh. The point of the live was about the questions, and we digressed into so much. I love these sessions.
The problem is that with Karishma, me and you in a room, we will never talk about what we have come to talk about.
Oh God, that's so true. Okay, coming to the next question. It is मुझे ऑनलाइन डेटिंग से थोड़ा डर लगता है. आई एम एंग्शियस हाउ कैन आई मीट न्यू पीपल थ्रू
अगर
ऑनलाइन
आपको
डेटिंग.
ऑनलाइन, oh, so you want to be on online dating even though आपको डर लगता है. You,
basically, I think it's about trying to safeguard as much as possible.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it
yeah,
feels like that.
yeah. So honestly, fear comes from a place of lack of safety, of course.
Hmm.
Fear also comes basically from the feeling of something being unknown or not in your control.
Hmm.
So all like they're all it's a Venn diagram of all of these three things. So I
Hmm.
feel like uh why, why don't you figure out for yourself what will maintain your confidence in the process. So,
Hmm.
matching with somebody, is that fearful for you? If matching with somebody is fearful for you, or for putting yourself out there is fearful for you, then probably online dating is not for you.
Hmm.
Um, then you should try and find a different way of dating. With somebody, probably not online dating, maybe meeting people at a singles party,
Hmm.
or going to a very safe bar with a couple of your friends, or meeting people on LinkedIn. People are doing that also nowadays. So on social media, you can slide into people's DM on Instagram, or like, that's one way
Respectfully,
to
of course,
do it.
but yeah.
Of course, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
That is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is, if you're okay with the process of putting yourself out there on a dating app, and the apprehension is around when you're gonna meet
Hmm.
them, whether you're safe or not. Though that you can find a way to meet in a public place, meet in the day, meet for a small meal or coffee, like and then see if you want to take it from that there to something else. Usually when you're apprehensive, I usually suggest don't let the first thing you do with that person inebriate you in any
Hmm.
way. Um so don't be doing any kind of alcohol or substances or anything, like, or like, don't go out partying as the first thing that you do. um a, and honestly, I feel like it's fair to Google someone once you know a little bit about them. So to find out what their like internet footprint is like, so you get a little more information. I
Hmm.
think in this generation, that's the one way. Like, something sus about a person if there's absolutely nothing on the internet about them.
Yeah,
Um,
many people actually don't have Instagram and Facebook and not too much information out there. Like there are people like that also. And in those cases, I feel what you can also do is get to know the person through video calls. Like, pehle baat karo video
Yeah, you
calling
can
pe,
you can
quality
video
time.
call, correct? Yeah, from the
So,
comfort of your own home, or like,
absolutely.
yeah,
Take a
the first
few
text, then pick
conversations
up
to
a phone
understand the
call.
vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Take it slow. Dating is not about getting scared. Like, you're not supposed
Yeah.
to be getting scared. You're supposed to be excited. That's the feeling you're looking for. You're looking for a feeling of excitement and nervousness and little butterflies in your stomach. If you're feeling scared, leave.
Hmm.
Don't be in the situation. It means
Yeah.
your body and your mind and your subconscious are telling you that this is something's off here.
Yeah. They're
Your gut.
not
You
in
have to
sync.
listen
Yeah.
to your gut.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I think that's covered that. I actually wanted to know, like I know you're married, so you're obviously not on dating apps, but have you heard about the you never know.
No, no, I'm not. My husband's watching.
मुझे मार पड़ेगी, sorry.
No,
I'm
no. It's
joking.
okay.
But
It's okay.
like,
Very
do you
happily
have,
married.
yeah. Yes. So do you have any idea or any suggestions about the current dating apps, or the scenario that's going on? Because okay, let me share. I'm on Bumble, and the experience has been very mixed. Honestly, there are good people also, but there is a huge gap in understanding. Like people still think that faking it or trying to be a person the opposite person wants to like is the way to, for a quick meetup or a quick date, and then वहां पे एक बार आ गए तो फिर तो भाई हो ही गया. Like, they go with that mentality, and that's very rampant. कितना भी तुम बात करो, कितना भी, try to vet them out. This is something that's happening very rampantly on Bumble at least. So yeah.
Catfishing. It's a different version of catfishing, right?
Catfishing, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
It's not these false pictures anymore.
Um, I feel like, yeah, that's a bit sus. But not to say I've had a very good experience with Bumble. I found my husband on Bumble. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I did. I did.
Amazing.
One of the, yeah.
Even my best friend found her husband on Tinder. ये कहाँ से बनते हैं लोग जो Tinder Bumble पे शादी
हम
हो जाती है? I love this.
हमें we have to kiss many a frog to find our prince.
Thousand of frogs to find the prince.
100%. But like no, I mean I've been on dating apps. I was on dating. I started I would say in 2016.
Hmm.
And I finally met my husband in 21. So it was 5 years on a dating app, on again, off again, on again, off again, before I found the person that I wanted to be with. So the other thing is you have to be persistent. There is एक तो हमारे यहाँ population बहुत ज्यादा है, तो
बहुत ज्यादा.
filter करना बहुत difficult है.
Hmm.
And आपका mindset भी होना चाहिए at that point of time कि आप क्या सोच रहे हो और आपका mind space क्या है, that you're not attracting a
Right
person
person or the right situation. Hmm.
for yourself. So
Makes sense. Or maybe you're just figuring out what you yourself want. So that in itself is a journey and it's separate for everyone.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, no, but be confident through it,
Yeah.
and be safe through it, and um, it's okay for one or two mismatches to happen. Or like, I
Hmm.
mean, I would say if you're on Bumble very actively, or like on any other dating app very actively,
Hmm.
I would say for every one person that you feel like you want to go on a second date with, there'll be at least seven people that you
Hmm.
don't want to.
Don't
So
want. Yes.
so um it's fair. It's okay. It's our own version of arranged
Kissing thousand
marriage.
frogs.
No, it's our own
I
version
thought
of arranged
meeting the
marriage.
seven people who are not there, talking to them is their the way of kissing thousand frogs. Sorry.
Yeah, that also. But but I feel like पुराने जमाने में अरेंज मैरिजेस में ऐसा ही होता था ना. लड़का लड़की के पेरेंट्स में, लड़का या लड़की किसी एक के घर जाते थे पेरेंट्स को मिलने, और
Hmm.
कितने लड़के या कितनी लड़कियों के
Hmm.
बाद में कोई एक समझ आता था कि चलो इसके साथ कोर्टशिप करते हैं,
Yeah.
राइट?
Yeah. True.
तो द आइडिया इज कि ऐसा नहीं है कि यूनिवर्स इज गोइंग टू थ्रो योर सोलमेट एट यू.
Yeah.
Likely you'll fall in a ditch in the current state of Bandra and the Khudawa roads. That's more likely than you finding your soulmate tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. Like, and also this other concept of relationships are supposed to be easy is
Absolutely. They're not.
not true. Relationships should feel like you want to do something and therefore it's easy for you. But it's not easy. Um it's something that needs constant work. Your
Just like in
connection
your
would,
career.
yeah.
Just
But
like in your
your
career. मजा
connection,
आता है वो काम करने में या वो मेहनत करने में. Same way relationship, when you
yeah,
want to work for it, it's fun and it's exciting and you feel like working for it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
आई मीन
Uh,
कनेक्शन होना आसान है कि यू नो
yeah.
यू कोई चीज बहुत इजीली आप यू वेरी इजीली कैन गेट इनटू अ स्पेस वेयर यू फील कनेक्टेड टू somebody, where you feel a spark, where you feel a certain kind of fire, where you
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I want to get to know this person. That is easy because
Yeah.
that's a lot of things, including your instinct and your gut and what you like and what you're
And
attracted to, all of those things put together.
newness. It's new.
It's There's a newness to it, correct? But to make something work consistently, if that's your choice,
Hmm.
it requires work. And I don't mean that it requires any form of compromise. I don't believe in that idea. I believe it requires communication. It requires reaching a certain kind of agreement with one another. It's about taking challenges on or taking obstacles on as a unit and then saying, okay, you know what, this works for you, this works for me. How do we figure this out?
What's the middle way?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or like you have
Uh,
your way this time, I'll get my way next time. That's an
yes,
understanding, no?
yes, that's a
But the
form of compromise. Also, it need not be a negative connotations when you say that,
yeah, the
compromise.
idea
It can
of
be a good thing.
compromise is
Yeah,
very negative
yeah.
connotation that it has. Like, you know, a lot of women are told constantly like relationships are a compromise, and you're gonna have to give
Um,
up on a lot of things to maintain your relationships. And I feel like that's not true.
that's not true
If you found
anymore.
the yeah, not true anymore. You can find your partner to be somebody that listens to you and is there for you and supports you in what you need, um, for you to do the exact same thing for them in return. Yeah.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like work. Like it doesn't feel too much work. It feels like this is something I
Depends
would
on the
want
day.
to do. Acha,
Depends on
aisa kya?
the day.
But at the end of the day, I feel when you retrospectively think
Oh,
at
it's
that
not work.
moment maybe, but eventually you feel that acha tha
Yeah.
ye. This was needed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it might be
Uh,
work, but it's not tiring.
Not tiring. I think, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the right word.
Yeah.
Tiring.
It involves work for
Yeah.
sure, but it's not meant to be tiring. It's not meant to
Tiring.
be something that drains you. It should refill your cup. It should replenish you, not drain
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
absolutely. करिश्मा जिस मैसेज सिंह उसकी भी लाइट चली गई थी.
आ जाओ वापस आ जाओ.
So it is. I think we have a couple more questions left and live अपना काफी लंबा चल गया है.
No problem.
करिश्मा. Okay, करिश्मा आ जाओ.
But आप पूछ तो लो. Karishma will also have amazing answers.
Yeah, I've added a hopefully she will.
Yes. Back again. My battery died.
अच्छा
Another form of
battery
bijli.
life.
In the middle of a life, my battery died. It should happen.
So
Okay.
we were just going to the next question.
Yeah,
You
let's
you
go.
So the
you
next question is, मैं एक open relationship में हूँ. This is my first. शुरू हुआ try करने से, but अभी I want an exclusive relationship. My partner doesn't feel the same, but we love each other a lot and don't want to break up. क्या कर सकते हैं? Please help. Couple counseling didn't work for us. So they were in a poly relationship with just trying to sort of try it out, but now the partner, she wants an exclusive relationship and partner wants to still continue the poly life, but they don't want to break up. They've had the talk, they've seen a couple counselor, and it's not worked out for them.
hmm,
Sticky.
come into my DMs, slide into my DMs. Let's try and figure this out with
Yeah.
you. It's very difficult for me to give you a blanket answer right now. I
Correct.
really need to understand what your situation is better, but but there is definite repair, that is possible here. So don't lose heart and don't lose hope. And there is definite repair possible. The only thing in all of this is neither one of you should feel like you're compromising on what you need in your life to be together, because that feeling will not make you want to be together for very long. It will make you feel like you're missing out on something which is very important to your life, to be with one another. And that feeling is not usually builds into resentment or like a feeling of like, um, yeah, it's not a fun feeling, it's a sticky
Hmm.
feeling.
Hmm.
Whatever that feeling is, whether it's resentment or it's feeling not good enough, whether it's feeling trapped, it can be either for anyone, it can be a lot of those different kinds of like combination of feelings. So I would definitely say you you shouldn't do relationship counseling. You should probably come to a coach and let me see if I can try and help you. I think I can.
Absolutely. And the important part is that both of you love each other and you don't want to break up. So just like एक counselor के पास जाके maybe you didn't feel good or you didn't get the solution, maybe a change would help. So definitely reach out to Asta. She's amazing. And intimacy coaching could also maybe help you figure out your sexuality in terms of why there is a block in his mind to get into a monogamous relationship or maybe just to give you what you want because he's saying that he does love her and he wants to make this work. So that in itself suggests that there could be certain mental blocks or challenges or past relation. It could be many things, and absolutely it won't be right, also ethical, also for us to give a solution over here without understanding the details
Yeah,
about it.
I
It's
feel
far
like,
more complex.
yeah,
As a situation, it's far more complex. Getting to know the details of that situation would probably help better with the solution.
yeah, no, for sure. I think the only thing I'm hearing in all of this is that the person that doesn't want, the person that wants to move to an exclusive relationship after having agreed to an open relationship before is
Hmm.
feeling some form of anxious attachment
Hmm.
because
Correct.
of something that some core wound that is bothering them. That's where
Hmm.
that's what I'm understanding of the situation. So I would say couples counseling is probably not the first step. The first step is
Hmm.
you should come in and let's talk and let's try and figure out what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And then we can figure out what it is your partner wants. And then we can figure out how the two of you need to be together if you need to.
Hope
Agreed.
this helps. And going to the next question, I think this is the last one because we've been live since quite a while now. But okay,
You can
so
ask, I have time.
I would love to just sit for hours with both of you. Honestly, I'll
That's
ask
People will go
questions
away.
on that.
the
People
audience will
will
go away.
go away.
We'll
हम ही
be
बात करें.
we'll be talking.
Oh God. Okay, so the last question is I am bisexual, but I always wanted a monogamous relationship. Relationships have not worked out for me so far with either gender, mostly because either they came with the expectation of being poly or got insecure about new friends or close friends. It ended badly always. Now I'm scared of opening up to anyone and getting into a relationship. So my only options are casual sex or choosing to be asexual. I think it's a question. So is the option only casual sex or should she choose to be asexual?
You should choose to be what you want to be and
Correct.
what you
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
and what feels right for you.
Yeah.
And as far as not finding the right kind of person is concerned, they'll come around. If you won't find someone that's bisexual, you'll find somebody that's pansexual that might be attracted to you, or you might be attracted to them. Um, and as far as your partner knowing your sexual, being in a relationship, of your
Mm,
friends, that's a them problem. It's not a
mm,
you problem.
yeah.
You need to, at in any case, be very happy and proud of your authentic self and do not feel
Yeah.
disheartened by not finding the right person yet. You'll find the right person. You'll find that correct human being that wants to be with you and will celebrate you for everything that you are. Um,
Yeah.
Correct.
so just wait it out. And while you're waiting it out, find all the forms of pleasure that give you happiness and empower you.
And that's
Um,
important. That is so important to not just give up on things or choose to be asexual because you're scared of getting into a relationship and closing all those doors altogether, losing hope. I think that is what is most important that you continue using,
yeah,
exploring your pleasure or
yeah,
self love, whatever it
yeah.
is, seeing other people. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No other human being should ever be able to take your power away from you for the things that you want to feel and for the things that you want,
Yeah.
and also for what is pleasure for you. And if you're
Mm.
attracted somebody, then go out and do what you need to do for it. And if you feel like you need to have a conversation with certain people, you will learn to do it. Everything requires practice. You don't
Absolutely.
you don't start day one and you know everything about why is there
I
this bubble? Okay.
That's what I'm like. How it's like a sign. Someone saying, "Good answer. This is
Yeah.
exactly what." That was
Once
nice.
it, I did this.
Or
And it
maybe
came. Anyway, never mind. My point is, my point is, yeah, no, every all kinds of lifestyles, even the monogamy ones, even the heteronormative ones,
Hmm.
require a lot of
Hmm.
practice on the kind of conversation that you can have, on the kind of communication that you can do, on the work that there is that needs to be done for any arrangement, any relationship.
Yeah.
So if you haven't found the right person, or you feeling disheartened about a few experiences that you've had, I would say don't lose heart. Take a little
Hmm.
bit of time, replenish your basket,
Mm,
better understand what it is you want for yourself, explore
mm,
yourself a little bit more,
mm.
and then put yourself out there. There's definitely someone made who has very similar experiences or wants and fantasies and desires like you do, and you will find them. You just
Yeah.
So there's an interesting thought in my head that happened today, and I want to share it with you guys. I remember when I was younger, as in like in my 20s, that I would be very insecure about
Mhm.
relationships.
Hmm.
You could sense that insecurity, whether it was myself or related to my partner or whatever it may be. There
Mhm.
was a lot of insecurities
Mhm.
that I had to tide over mentally over a period of time. And it can happen as you're younger because there are so many things that are determining your engagement with whichever partner you want to be with, whether it be an own with your girls or boys. Um, these these insecurities are a part of obviously learning more about yourself. What is acceptable to you in your conditioning of things, as well as what you want to take forward from those
Mhm.
learnings of being
Mhm.
insecure.
Mhm.
I have realized that over a period of time, when I've grown obviously older and now in my 30s, that being secure with who I am as an individual makes me far more secure in the relationships that I want to have or
Hmm.
choose to have. And that is something that I have learned over a period of time. So you have to give yourself time to be secure within yourself about
Hmm.
your, uh, whether it be throwing out that energy, because security comes like that, or
Hmm.
projects like that. That if you are a very confident human being with yourself and what you want to do with your life, that is the kind of people you would probably come across and attract as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that is what I would like to put out there, that if you there are in this day and age where you can see so much of commitment phobia, where you can see a lot of people shying away from monogamy as a choice of relationship, or people who are probably thinking that they're old school but are projecting a lot of insecurities when it comes to being, wanting to be monogamous in a relationship but having insecurities about other people who would probably walk into my partner's life.
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
these things are predominantly which has to that studies should start within yourself, to understand, where it begins, and then accordingly start looking for people in that same space of equally secure.
Yeah.
And I think that is what I have learned. And I was thinking about this today, and I was like, you know what, this is something that I have to share because I've never thought about this myself. And it's taken some
Wow,
time.
wow,
But
क्या thought था?
yeah, wow, wow, wow,
वाह, वाह.
but yeah, so then I think it is just a matter of time. When you're younger, you're just trying to figure it out. But when you get older,
Yeah.
it just comes with time. So you don't have to be in a
Yeah.
hurry to get into your relationships and have the best relationships, whether it be bisexual or pansexual or sapiosexual or whatever sexual it may be. Just give yourself time. You have an entire fucking lifetime to find who you want to
Yeah.
be with and who you can be with. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with one person also.
Yeah.
There could be people walking into your life at different times in your life, nurturing that particular aspect of your need, for that particular period of time also. Because now the notion of happily ever after 40 years, 50 years, right now it seems a little delusional, as a demand from any relationship or any person for that matter, considering what we deal with, with the kind of exposure we have, the options we have, the how we want to conduct our lives. So I mean, people are changing careers, every 5 years, 10
Mm.
years.
Mm.
These things are also happening. So your evolving is a different pathway altogether. Everybody used to get into one job, stick to in that job for 40 years, and that used to be their schedule for that many years.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, but it's not everyone's life. It's not everyone's choice.
exactly.
Exactly.
And I'm coming back to the don't yuck other people's
Yep,
yum.
absolutely.
Like, and at the same time, so I think the best state of being is, and all the practice and all the work and all the knowledge and all the understanding of yourself and the people around you leads me to one very basic thing. It is that don't impose your shame on someone else, and
Mm.
be kind to yourself
Yes.
at the
Mm.
same time. So don't be hard on yourself. You will find someone,
Yeah.
or you will find what
Correct.
works for you. You just have to keep looking, and you don't have to be disheartened about it.
Mm.
And even being disheartened about it and hurting yourself and being hopeless about it, and like really, really not to not have constructive emotions around it is also not being kind to yourself. So
Mm.
if you can try to pull yourself out of those emotions and put yourself into a situation where you feel more hopeful, that practice will really help you to be kinder to yourself. And when you're kind to yourself, and when you're self-fulfilled and you're content, and you enjoy your own silence, and enjoy your own company, people are attracted to you.
Yep.
Because they because people are attracted to that secure aura.
But
Yep.
And also, if they're not attracted to that aura, to hoots,
Yeah.
it's okay.
क्या
yeah.
फर्क पड़ता है? जाने दो,
हाँ, bye, नहीं चाहिए.
दूसरा आएगा. No
Exactly.
problem.
We're so lucky to be living in a world. I don't want you to feel disheartened by the fact that the love forever wala logic or the happily ever after wala logic is not for us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it can be for you if that's what you
Absolutely.
want. But
Agree.
we're so but we've got such an amazing opportunity in the world being so much closer to
Mm.
us than the other generations had, right?
Mm.
So एक तरफ the viewpoint is कि आपके पास बहुत options हैं. दूसरी तरफ तो you can't decide, so you'll try something for 5 years and try the next thing for 5 years. This is one perspective. For me, the other perspective is actually you can actually explore what is working for you, and when you figure out what works for you, then it will continue to work for you if you work for it.
Yep.
Mm.
And
Agree.
until you don't find that, and if you find whatever 500 different reasons to put yourself in a situation that is not authentic to yourself, that is not true to who you are, that you're doing out of like मम्मी ने बोला है कि 30 साल के हो गए हो तो शादी
Yeah.
करनी है, और लाइक फलाने ने बोला है कि बाइसेक्सुअल होना पाप है. तो अगर आप वैसी जिंदगी में अपनी लाइफ में कॉम्प्रोमाइज करोगे अपने रिलेशनशिप्स में अपने आप के साथ, then you're not being kind to yourself, तो फिर वो relationships नहीं चलेंगी.
Yep. Agree.
And
You'll not also
So
be happy. And what I feel is every relationship in the end, be it friends, romantic, otherwise also, it gives you certain learnings in life. Right? You learn something new about yourself or about the world in general, and there are always positive, negative, both sides. You should just look at the silver lining and move on. You'll definitely, you know, attract something better, become something better tomorrow.
For
mhm.
sure.
So that is definitely there. Oh my God, I can have these conversations with you two ladies all day.
या लिसन ओके हम बहुत ज्ञान फ्री में बांट रहे हैं चुपचाप बंद करो लाइव
I was just going to say, इसके ऊपर इतना पैसा में इतना ही मिलेगा,
It's
इसके ऊपर फोन घुमाओ.
प्लीज बुक अ कंसल्टेशन विद आस्था और whichever.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
definitely.
okay, I
But
think
we're
it was an
super
amazing
happy
time.
to help. But we're very happy to help, and our the doors to our DMs are always wide open as long as they're very respectful.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
long as all your messages do not involve anything apart from "Ma'am, I have an issue,"
Yes.
or "Hey, Astha, I'd like to chat with you." That's good by me. Don't send me pictures I don't want to see.
Same here.
Otherwise,
Ditto, ditto.
we're very happy for you to message us. Please do.
I think Curry joined spontaneously, तो लोगों को शायद confusion हो गया. I've got around 12 requests to join on videos. I'm sorry, guys, I cannot accept them. This was just a spontaneous thing that we did. But I'm glad you
Everyone wants
guys.
to be like, hi, maybe.
Yeah. I think
You
so.
can't sit with us.
No, but a lot of people who basically when I come live want to join live because I used to basically chat with people who are following
Yeah.
me. Like
Hmm.
there's to be a lot of that happening, which I haven't done in a while. I probably will start.
You
You
should
should
do it.
start. Yeah,
Yeah, but it
for
should be very
sure.
entertaining, okay? Like I used to talk to people from like people who used to own like banya ka dukan, like some
Love
place
it.
like some remote place in India, and it used to be so much fun because we used to be just like randomly talk and they used to tell me why they are following me and stuff.
I love it.
Damn good fun.
I
Yeah.
love it. That's awesome. It's also so good to be able to reach out to those people. And
Yeah.
you're like, it's so, again, you feel so blessed when you're like, oh my God, there's a person sitting some remote corner of the world that like
Normally, you would
wants
not
to
even have
share
crossed paths
love.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to share love.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
so incredible.
Yeah,
You're
that's
very
nice.
blessed, Kari.
I am. I have no complaints about that. I completely agree with you. I am thoroughly blessed in every which way, and I receive a lot of love, which I'm absolutely grateful for. Keep it coming because it only pushes me to do more and do better, and for myself and for everybody around. So yeah, keep
मुझे
it
भी
coming.
थोड़ा सा दे दो.
अरे हमेशा God and infinite love for you, baby girl. Always and trust me when I say this, when I want to work with you, I mean it like 110%. There's no two ways about it. We are going to be working together
No
in some
spoiler
way or the
alert.
other, for sure.
Enough, enough. I think you've forgotten we are on live. You don't want to give too
I-
many spoiler alerts.
okay, not coming out with it right now.
On that note, I think we should end the live now. काम भी है, खाना वाना भी है, लोगों को भी जाना है.
पतिदेव
Thank you so much,
की
Asta.
सेवा.
पतिदेव.
पतिदेव की सेवा. वो बेचारा मेरे लिए चाय बना रहा है बाहर.
Oh, how cute.
Bless him. ऐसे बनाना चाहिए समझो. Excuse me, लोग यहाँ जो यहाँ है, especially the boys, darling. Men also like it when you tie for them. Just saying. Okay.
Everyone should do it for everyone.
Yeah.
Gender
Of
no
course.
bar. Gender no bar.
Both ways.
प्यार
Kind-
बांटो,
kind
प्यार पाओ.
Gestures are something that goes both ways, whichever way, and find those, moments of kindness. I think is more important.
Yeah.
And on
Absolutely.
that note, we're wrapping up this Thursday.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
are.
Thank you so much, Asta. Curry. Thank you for joining, my love.
Arey, no problem.
We'll talk soon.
Yes, we'll talk soon, and looking forward to going live again at some point of time.
Definitely.
Yes. I think we should definitely have spontaneous lives, I say.
For sure.
Done.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.